Welcome, welcome.
We back, man. We back.
What's up, brother?
Ain't shit, man. What's going on with you?
We back at it.
Sir, yes, sir. Turn the fork episode. We on 30, man.
Yeah, 30. We've been off for a few weeks.
Yeah. Shout out to tall black guy for sitting in with us.
Yeah, man. He graced us.
Yeah.
I've been going back looking at some of the well, not all the footage, rather, not some of his shit, and
Yeah, for sure.
just hearing him talk about, like his shit with his dad and him just
Yeah.
pushing through that.
Yep.
Actually, was a part of it that really, really stuck out with me the most.
Yep.
'Cause I was sitting there thinking, like, some motherfuckers would love to have a dad or a family member who create this opportunity that you could just walk into, but you got some shit inside of you that's like, nah,
Yeah.
I want to do this.
Yeah.
Don't even have a clue on how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
But this is what I want to do. So this
Yeah.
is what the fuck I'm gonna do.
Yep.
And I thought that shit was hard.
Yeah. That is that's heavy, man, because traditionally, man, we was always like what your father did, that's what you did.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't no choice. You did what he did.
And that shit was kind of dope too, right?
Yeah.
Like if your dad was a motherfucking watchmaker,
Yep.
you were a watchmaker.
You're a watchmaker. Yep. And you made it a little bit better. Whatever you needed, however you can make it better. But yeah, man, shout out to him.
It's a funny motherfucking vibe today, ain't it?
It's wild out here, man. COVID coming back.
How you feel about that?
What, COVID coming back?
Or just the whole, all that in general?
Dog, it is to me, man, and I've been out, like last night, I flipping these records, man, spinning at a spot. And the energy is just different. I don't know whether people are still sort of figuring this shit out. But this whole summer, man, the energy has been it's been weird, man. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Is it the people or the environment? I guess the people make the environment, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's I don't know, man.
You think it's you?
Could be. It could be all of it, dog. I don't know. I mean, there's still like good like beautiful parts, but it just feels different than it did before this. Right? And I ain't really sure. Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. But it feels, in some aspects, it feels a lot like wilder, like a powder keg, like there's a burning fuse to a stick of dynamite that's about to, you know what I'm saying? You feel that kind of, that nervous energy. And then other part, man, is just a little like, it's just off, man. It's just the rhythm is not right. And I don't know. It could be me. I could just not have gotten it together yet, but it just feels different.
Have you gone outside of DJing?
Nah, I haven't. Other than when we went to, the times that we hung out, when we went to
Out with the folks?
Yeah. And when we went to with Buck too.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, man, I haven't been out. I ain't really wanted to. I don't know about that either. Like,
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I really ain't been feeling it either, man. I've been really wanting to travel more and shit.
Yeah.
And if I do want to do something or go out, like that's where my energy and attention is kind of being directed towards right now.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because I really ain't been a travel type person. It ain't obviously because no money and nothing. It's just I really ain't. I hated being on planes and around people, and I would always use the flying excuse as the barrier to actually go there. But now I'm like, well, fuck it. How long is it gonna take to get there? 3 days? Well, shit. I'll just. Yeah. But when I get there, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna enjoy myself.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about maybe doing some Tanzania shit with Corey, or maybe going to Dubai.
That's dope.
Going to Kansas City in September to celebrate my birthday with my people down there. So we're gonna do that.
Funny you put those three together.
I know, right?
Said Dubai, Tanzania, and
Kansas City.
How far is Kansas City from like real Midwest cities like Chicago and
No. No, I mean,
in St.
He
Louis.
said, where's...
Shout out to Kansas City.
Nah, fuck that. You don't, nah, don't, nah, nigga, you
close
said
to
it.
real.
So just let it be what it is.
You know what I'm saying? Milwaukee, high from real cities.
So it's how far they are from us. We
Yeah,
are the
everybody making a
motherfucking
pilgrimage.
epicenter.
Yeah, everybody's making a pilgrimage to Kansas City.
Yeah, people talk about Mecca, Missouri.
The Mecca,
Missouri is the Midwest Mecca.
I couldn't even find Missouri on the map, dog.
Yeah. You couldn't find DC either. The
you
motherfucker's so
could.
small.
That's all right, but you know exactly where it's at.
You'd be like, where the motherfucker at?
It's right there.
Yep.
Seriously, man, how far is it from like, is it a long
It's
drive?
about 2.5. It's about 2.5 from St. Louis. And then I think it's about 4 hours from Chicago.
I think it was closer. Everything's so spread out over there.
From here to St. Louis, from Kansas City to St. Louis, about the same distance from here to Philly.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just a skip and a hop.
Yeah. Yeah, the perspective is different over there too, dog. Like here, it's like boom, 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 boom. Over there, it's like way over there, where?
Yeah, it's a hike.
Yeah. I know dudes who used to drive from Atlanta to St. Louis, to Kansas City, to St. Louis.
From Atlanta?
Like
Yeah.
on a regular.
They must have been moving them bricks.
I hope so, because I was
They
like,
wasn't
y'all
going just
back?
to be, yeah.
Like every weekend they be like, I'm going, yeah, man, we going home. We
Yeah,
going
they
home.
had some in the trunk.
It's like, man, that's wild.
I really didn't have, I'm trying to, these last 3 weeks that we've been off, man, because I think the last time we shot was the 4th of July.
Was
and
it?
today, yeah.
Yep.
And then today's actually the 31st. So it's been 4 weeks.
Yeah.
This the longest.
Yep. You sure it was? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because the fireworks is in the goddamn audio.
Yeah, that's right. That's funny.
Yeah. So 4 weeks we've been off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe this is just a part of the groove. We're trying to get back into the groove. Like, because the reality is we just had a conversation about some shit that's just really fucking up the whole vibe. And it's hard to.
Yeah. It's hard to feel it. It's hard to talk about it. And it's hard to accept it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's wild, man.
Yeah.
It's wild out here.
People going through things, man.
Yeah. Dog. And you never know what people are going through, dog. You never know. Because people are going through some shit, man. And you see somebody, or you talk to somebody, and they short or whatever, and you just don't know what they're going through, man.
And then we'll take the shit personal.
Yeah.
When they short.
Yep. We
Not
think it's
understanding all the shit.
Yep.
Why is that, bro? Like, we never really think we matter, and then all of a sudden, every motherfucking thing that we experience is because of us.
Yep.
And a reflection of us.
And we are the center of every interaction that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we go into every interaction thinking if the grocery store clerk is a little short, it's because of us.
Because she don't like you.
Right, exactly. You don't know what she got going on.
Bitch don't even know you.
Right. And will never once you walk away, she will never think about you again.
At all. And you be in the car, you'll text.
Right.
You'll send a post.
Right.
Can you believe I just left this grocery store and this Karen bitch named Peggy? Karen gonna try to, and she's like, I was just trying to get some extra hours so I could pay my cell phone bill.
Yep.
And they told me that I couldn't because they weren't approving overtime.
Yep.
And now I'm racist, motherfucker.
Right. I got have a bad day too. Shit.
Man.
That ain't, or you could be acting like an asshole and I can call you on you acting like an asshole. But now I'm racist because I called you on you acting like an asshole.
Yeah. You say it a lot, bro.
That's funny.
Get over yourself.
Get over yourself, dog. We all going through some shit, dog. We all got shit on our shoulders, and everybody need a break.
You know what? And I like how you said that, bro. And it's important to remember the key word in what you said is we all go through.
Yeah.
It's like a motherfucking tunnel. You
Yep.
go through a tunnel.
Yep.
You ain't gonna be in that bitch.
Nope.
It's dark.
Yep. Unless you decide to sit in it.
Now,
Unless you decide to stop and sit
then
in
that
it.
ain't through.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's a different act.
That's you right.
Now you can sit in that motherfucker. You can run out of gas in the tunnel. Now you in the tunnel.
Right.
You didn't go through the motherfucker.
Right.
But you know we all go through shit, man. And as you said that, it helps me kind of like frame my shit, and then also the conversations we were having before getting in here, and just how I was debating on whether or not we should even put this video out as we sitting there talking, because I was like, this shit gonna look stupid. But it's like this is
it,
man. This is it, bro.
Yeah, and it's wild, man, that when we talk about going through, because we talked about this yesterday. There's always a balance, dog, and for everything there's an equal opposite thing. And the more that we understand that other people go through shit and we go through shit, right? The more we get away from the opposite of that, which is feeling like that it's always about us. Mm-hmm. And it's always about, that personal attack and where we are in that moment. That we don't give ourselves space to go through the shit, and we don't give other people the space to go through the shit. So there's always a equal opposite, man. That's the beauty of this existence. That no matter where you look in nature, is always an equal opposite, dog. There's always a push and pull.
And the fact that we even got this space, bro. I remember we were talking the other day, and I was telling you how I feel like I'm out of rhythm.
Yeah.
And I'm having difficulty getting into a rhythm, and how sometimes I feel like I don't want to do this shit no more. And it was like, you were like, bro, we can't give up. Like, and it's not like, and I don't think I was necessarily talking to you at the time because I felt like giving up. I think it was like, I'm saying it just because it's what I'm thinking and feeling.
Right.
And then maybe just by saying it, it'll
part of going through it.
Go through it, and then it goes away because it went away.
Yeah.
And like, even if you see like on like the Instagram shit, bro, I'm starting to get back into the rhythm again and post more shit and do more shit.
Yeah.
But that 2 or 3 week period there when I went on vacation and then got back, and it was just hard to get into a fucking rhythm.
Yep.
Extremely hard.
Yep. Yeah.
And sometimes when people see you go away, they don't understand what's going on.
Right.
But it's like you trying to fucking figure it out. And then what we do is we hook up all this half-assed equipment, iPhones and chargers and shit and lights, and then come up and be like, hey, we trying to figure it out. And it's like, and then 3 people look at it.
Dog, but you never know, dog. I thought about this shit the other day. What if, and this is a wild thought, and this goes back to when we talk about aliens and shit. What if this shit gets into the ether, dog, and somebody sees this shit galaxies away?
That should be hard.
And it was a show, dog. I forgot what the fuck it was. But like a random show ended up going like galaxies away, and it became what they based their civilization off of.
And it was some dumb shit?
It was like I want to say it was like Star Trek or some stupid shit like that. But they based their whole civilization on those shows.
That'd be gangster, bro.
Think about that.
A highly intelligent civilization sees our podcast, and then they land at a G9 summit.
Right.
It says, where's life in James?
We have to talk to them. And they dress like us.
We gotta talk to them.
They dress like us.
And they cussing.
Yeah.
Where that motherfucking James and life at? I mean, y'all ain't clean.
Right,
I mean,
everybody
ain't got their shit together. We all.
That's on their money. Everybody ain't got their shit together.
That's on their money.
That'd be wild, dog.
Tune the fork we trust.
That's right. The
Oh,
logo,
that would be
all
great.
they flag, all
That's
that
their
shit.
flag.
Yeah,
Our
exactly.
logo is
On a
the
white
alien's flag.
Imagine that shit, dog. So with that, dog, you never you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's why, like, when your shit matters, it matters, and then when it don't, it don't.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And we all go through that, man. I mean, we all go through some shit, man. But the key is going through it. You gotta feel it, it's cool, and then you keep going and come out on the other side. That tunnel, as you keep moving through it, that light is gonna come to you.
So what I think was tough for me in going through the doubt that I was going through a few weeks back, and we were talking before about how, like, I measure how much time, that was a long time for me. That was a longer than normal amount of time than I have been going through shit.
What do you mean?
So remember in the last podcast, I was like, I generally, for me, I measure how long it takes me to get over shit.
Yeah.
Or, to shorten that time.
Right.
These last few weeks was a long period of time.
Yeah. Do you think that before that it was a shorter period of time?
Oh, it got that kind of shit. I had gotten really good at managing.
Yeah, maybe it's just a swing. I mean,
and getting smaller. And so, like, the last few weeks, I was going out, I was walking outside, I was filling my buckets when we talk about, I was doing my community service shit.
Right.
I was doing all of this other shit. I was outside, I was listening to music, I was doing all of this shit, and I couldn't really get into a motherfucking groove.
Right.
And what helped me, and I was like, I gotta talk to Life. And that day we had the conversation,
right,
it got better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if I'm honest, that was ultimately what I needed to do.
Right.
But I didn't want to talk to you that day.
Right. Right.
I was trying to get around it.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was trying to get around it subconsciously.
Right.
You ever done that?
Yeah.
Like,
hell yeah.
Like, there are 5 things you can do.
Yeah. Yep.
And and the one thing you don't want to do,
right,
you avoid.
Yeah.
And you'll do the other motherfucking 4.
Yeah.
Thinking that you don't have to do the 5th, but then you actually go around and do the 5th, and then when you do that motherfucker, you be like, I should have just done that to begin with.
A lot of times, dog, that 5th is not necessarily the hardest, but it requires, like, the other 4, like, for me, dog, like you just said, it's the shit like making your bed. It's the regular day-to-day shit that keeps you going. But the real motherfucking transitional shit is the hardest shit to really, you got to sit in that shit for a minute. And that's hard to do, dog. And you do it.
And the relationship to and you talk about this shit, the relationship to yourself, I don't know why, even when we talking, bro, and we have these conversations and we sit here and talk, there's still some things that I'm really uncomfortable sharing with you.
Right.
And I try to avoid.
Right.
And one of the things that exercise taught me when we had the conversation was, I'm going to be a really fucking huge hypocrite if I come on this motherfucker, man, talking about all of this shit and not actually implementing any of it. Because you got to act like the shit that we talk about on here, man, we have to do.
Yeah.
Like, we have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we plant the seed in our minds,
yeah,
and in our, like, souls and shit to do it,
yeah.
When we don't do it, we know we being slight, dog. Yeah. We know it.
Yeah, and the thing is that when you say it out loud, then you're on the hook for the shit. And dog, it ain't gotta happen that day or the next day, but you start to move towards it even on a subconscious level. So you start to really make adjustments to what the fuck you used to do. And at least in small increments, you start to move towards the shit. And you ain't always gonna get it right, dog, but shit, fuck it. You get up and try it again the next day. Fuck it.
And I think there's something about acceptance in that piece
Yep.
that kind of like helps it. Because even when we were like having the conversation, it was like, you know, this ain't really even about trying to change motherfuckers, man. It's just
Right.
like we're creating a thing and we're trying to understand the dynamics that are at play
Yeah.
from two individual motherfuckers.
Two different.
Two totally different people.
We different, dog, but we a lot the same, but we really different. And that, I mean, shit, that's what creates this. That's the beauty of what creates this shit is our differences. If we was the same, it wouldn't be the same shit. The conversations wouldn't be the same. We wouldn't add value to each other in the same way if we was the same motherfucker.
Yeah.
And looked at shit the same way. The fact that we starkly different and differ on a lot of shit is what really adds value to what the fuck this shit is.
And maybe that kind of shit can ring true in like personal relationships. 'Cause I think sometimes you see two people and you be like, them motherfuckers are so unalike,
Right.
dissimilar to where it's like, how are they gonna work out? And a lot of times, those are the kind of situations that actually work because they're extremely complementary to one another.
And that acceptance piece, when you don't feel like that how that other person differs from you is an issue, when you see value in the difference and you say, oh, damn, they don't do the shit like I do. And, you know, of course, at first it'd be like, they really don't. But then you say, man, there's a value in that shit. There's a value in teaching me how to look at shit differently than I would have otherwise. And vice versa. That shit has to exist. Because otherwise there's resentment. Why this motherfucker do that way? You put yourself in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? And both of y'all end up, like you said, complimenting each other, but becoming better at the shit.
And then using the analogy of, using the analogy of going through. Resentment isn't going through, is it? Mm-mm. Resentment means like you in the middle of the motherfucking tunnel. Yep. Like you in the tunnel when you resent the motherfucker. You camped out.
And a tunnel is wild because it's long, right? And there's a coming in and there's a going out. When you in that resentment space, you're turned to the sides of the tunnel and you focusing on the tunnel. You're not even looking at going out or going through. You focus on the motherfucking structure that you're in.
So going through something literally meant you're on the other side of it, meaning that you have acquired some level of understanding and also some level of acceptance of it.
That's right.
Now, how many things are we actually going through as opposed to sitting in?
Right. And there's two things. There's gone through it. That means when you come out on the other side, like shit, I did that shit.
Like you're on the other side.
Right. And then there's going through it. So while you're in it, what the fuck are you, where you are? You know what I'm saying? What you focused on. I interrupt you, so
no, you good. Because maybe so the resentment is in the tunnel.
Yep.
Because once you've actually come out, there shouldn't be any of those kinds of feelings about it.
Yep.
Like you're in a relationship with somebody and you find out like this motherfucker just like spending money. Mm-hmm. They like bags. This nigga like shoes.
Yep.
But you want to buy a house.
Yeah.
And you don't end up buying that house.
Yeah.
Because they not saving, helping save money, and then you get divorced or whatever the case may be, and then on the other side of it. So as you going through the divorce, there might be a lot of resentment that was associated with what you weren't able to attain.
Yeah.
But once you're through the divorce and you've accepted what happened and what didn't happen, now you're on the other side. There should be some level of acceptance with that as opposed to like the resentment. Because if you're feeling resentment, that should tell you that it's unresolved.
Right, and you're still in the tunnel.
And you're still in the tunnel.
Yep.
I'm not in the tunnel.
Right.
I can say that.
Yeah.
I'm out of the tunnel.
Acceptance is the key, man. It's the key to the motion of the shit. And it's hard because a lot of times, like what you just said, if a motherfucker like to buy shoes and you're trying to accomplish this goal, and you voice that we're trying to accomplish this goal, and that motherfucker still out buying shoes, there is resentment. I mean, but again, like we said last time, you knew that motherfucker was buying shoes a long time. You knew who that's who he was.
When y'all, yeah.
Right. So
he was buying shoes when y'all was dating.
Exactly. Mad shoes. So either you need to figure out a better way or accept the fact that he gonna buy shoes, and y'all gotta figure out a better way to save money. I don't even know what that looks like, but acceptance of the shit. But the more that you try to change, and I don't know, dog. To me, it feels like it goes both ways. So if I'm a motherfucker that, if I'm a motherfucker that's buying mad shoes, right, and I'm with somebody and they, and I value them and saying that this buying a house is good for us, then part of me is gonna be like, okay, well, let me fall back from doing as much, because I value what they're trying to accomplish for us and with us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it goes both ways. I'm feeling like.
But I think it's the attachment to the outcome.
Yeah.
And and not accepting what.
Yeah.
And who that person is.
Yep.
Because if they don't do that, do they not love you? Do they not care about you?
Right. But that's the thought.
And maybe you trying to get this motherfucker to stop buying shoes.
Right.
Actually is the force that's contributing to him continuing to buy shoes.
That's clean.
I don't know, man.
I don't either, but that sound right though.
It's like that one day when you and I were talking, and we were having, and I was speaking a broad sense, and we're like, you got two people, and you can't stand this other motherfucker, like, at all. And everything they say, everything they do just kind of hits you wrong.
Yeah.
And y'all never seem to be on the right track.
Right.
And everybody's trying to get somebody to do something different.
Right.
Maybe the move is just going to them and saying, don't change.
Right.
You find just the motherfucking way that you are.
Right.
You've been this way your whole life.
Right.
And I've been doing you a disservice by trying to get you to be something other than what you are.
Right.
If you want to change, that's fine.
Right.
But in order for us to interact in a healthy way,
Right.
I've got to learn to accept you for who you are.
Right.
And I got to learn to be okay with that.
But go ahead.
Now, when I have that conversation with that individual,
right,
that might be something that person's never heard of, never heard before.
Yep.
And everybody been trying to get them to do some more other shit. That don't mean you necessarily, it means you just accepting the individual for who they are.
Right.
Because maybe that's actually the switch.
The catalyst, yep.
That causes them to want to do something different.
That's right.
Because you're not fighting it anymore. It's like when we were saying before, when we were like, here, take this shit.
Right, right.
That's how you win the game.
Yep.
By not playing.
That's right. And your acceptance, dog, do you think that it has to start with you accepting yourself? Like, do you think you can be accepting of someone else without having that same conversation with yourself?
I don't think it's something that you necessarily do fully. Because I think when you see a motherfucker, and here's the thing too, when you see a person who is fully accepting of themselves,
right,
you will see a person full of contradiction.
Yep. Clean.
We don't like that.
That's clean. Yep. Nah, we don't.
In an average interaction with a motherfucker.
You're right. You're right.
We don't like that because we'll see a motherfucker be extremely one thing and then extremely something else because that's how they feeling about themselves at that time.
At that moment, yep.
And at that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we know that criticism comes with that, and we've got to be okay with accepting that criticism.
Yep.
Like Kanye West as an example, saying, yeah, I believe I'm a God.
Right.
If that's how the fuck you believe, and then you believe in yourself in that way, we don't like that.
Nah.
We want you to be humble. We want you to communicate to us, not be the thing, but just communicate to us all of the things that make us feel comfortable with your truth.
That's crazy.
We're not telling you to not think you God. We basically just saying, don't tell us, motherfucker.
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Or we want to call you that. And we don't want you to call yourself that. But we can call you the best and the greatest and you're,
But you don't say it about yourself.
Don't say it. Don't think it about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that humility thing it's an interesting concept, man. Because again, dog, it lives in two spaces. There is a space of ultimate confidence, right? But then there's a space of arrogance and where you look down on other people, right? Which is a weird, because it's perceived. Like if he says he's God, the perception is from a lot of people that he thinks he's better than everyone. But that's not what he said.
And that's a reflection of them. Because he didn't say that.
Exactly.
Because he's saying we all God.
Exactly. So, and we all know people living in this space as a whole have those levels of insecurities floating around because of a lot of shit, right? Because that's how the society is built. The more insecurities you have, the more you can be a consumer, the more money you spend, and the more you become a cog in the wheel of this shit, of this experiment called whatever the fuck it is, right? But so when somebody does come out and say that, the immediate switch is he thinks he's better. Or she thinks she's better, right? So that's where that confidence, arrogance thing kind of exists.
And the piece that you were saying earlier about the acceptance thing is that there's something there with the contradiction.
Yeah.
Because if you're accepting yourself for being one thing, you also got to accept the other side of it too. It's just a natural part of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think we really like the idea of people being fully accepting of themselves when when we're not fully accepting.
That's right.
Of ourselves.
That's right. That's the key.
So sometimes the best thing you can do, and I think this goes back to when we try to get people to do shit differently and all of that. The best thing we can do for the people in our lives is to get our own shit together.
That is clean.
Our literal own shit.
Yep.
And then go around and tell and then be okay. Because what I used to tell Miles all the time. First, you got to find who you are, bro. Yeah. That's hard as a motherfucker. That's hard.
Yep.
And the second thing that is just as hard is having the courage to share that with the world.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a hard motherfucking thing to do.
Yep.
Because it's not something that we see very often.
Right.
Because everybody's trying to be something other than who they are and what they are.
Because if you're confident, if you feel like you know who you are and you're confident in that space, you sharing whatever you are with the world does not, like, you're not hanging on their judgment of what you're sharing. When you're not confident, no matter the level of talent, no matter the level of quality of things you put out, once you put it out, you hang on what people think about it. So if someone doesn't like it or a group doesn't like it, then it immediately becomes personal, right? So you immediately say they don't like me. But if you're comfortable in yourself, you don't give a fuck whether they like you.
Well, and that's the reality. You do. Like, and I think that's a part of the acceptance piece as well. Like,
Right.
How are you managing that part of the equation? Because you could be confident and still, like, if you're open in that way, you're going to receive all of the shit, the good and the bad shit.
Right. Right.
And it's going to impact you.
Yeah.
How do you manage that? How do you navigate it and make sure it doesn't prevent you from moving forward?
Right.
But we want to say shit like, I don't give a fuck what they, nigga, I care what people think. I do, man. Like, now, will I allow their feedback to control how I do things? Sometimes I will, and sometimes I won't. My goal, though, is to make sure that what I do is actually is reflecting what is on the inside as authentically as I can. Understanding that sometimes the outside world's like when you go and DJ.
Right.
Like sometimes you gonna play some shit that somebody else want to hear that you don't necessarily want to hear.
And vice
but
versa.
ideally, it would be dope to go out into the world
Yeah.
and do your own shit literally from second one till the last sound you play.
Right. But there's also the flip side of that, which is you caring about what other people think. What they think doesn't necessarily have to be based on what you're presenting to them or what you're giving them. It could be in their own shit.
Yeah.
Right? So, like the DJ analogy, I've gone out, doing my thing and good night. Everybody's partying, everybody having a good time. But there's always a person that brings their own shit and they come to you wanting something.
Yeah.
But it ain't based on the fact that everybody's having a good time. They just want to inject themselves because they're feeling whatever the fuck they're going through, feeling whatever they're feeling, bringing whatever they're bringing. But now you feel like they don't like what you're doing. Now you're attached to that. But it ain't got nothing to do with you.
So let me ask you a question. Has somebody ever come up to you and asked you for a song that you didn't have and it made you feel a certain way?
Asked me for a song that I didn't have and it made me feel a certain way. Like bad? Like, I don't know, like.
There are about 5 people who've come up to me and asked me for songs.
Uh-huh.
And if I saw them out to this day, I would remember who they were and the song they asked me to play. And I don't even know them, but I see them randomly. And every time I see that motherfucker, I'll be like, that's Baby, I'm Scared of You. I can look at him in his face right now and be like, Womack to Womack. I don't even know his name.
Right.
But it's like, Baby, I'm Scared of You. I didn't have that song. And that bothered me.
But it bothered you.
And it fucked up my whole night.
But it bothered you why?
Because I didn't have it.
Did you know it?
No.
You've never heard that song before?
When he asked me, I'd never heard the song before. And when I heard it, I was like, oh.
It's a good song?
Womack to Womack? I mean, Baby, I'm Scared of You?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I had never heard it.
I've done that. I've like heard a song, like someone told me to play a song and I didn't have it, or I didn't feel like what it took to find it. But then it kind of stuck with me and I went and heard it and I have been like, oh damn, that is a dope record. And I've made sure that I, played it again. But I've never in the moment, like, if I don't have it, I'm like, I don't.
And this dude was on his music tip and he was asking me to play stuff and I had him, and that song he didn't have, I didn't have. And I remember feeling a certain way that I didn't have it. And as soon as I got home, bro, at like 3:30 in the morning, I went and I was like, oh.
I've done that. Did you know him before?
You know the dude. But I could tell, but he knew the music. Because I was in that kind of like zone.
Okay.
I was in that vein of music.
Okay.
And I'm saying that to say, like, sometimes those are the people who are actually sticking out the most.
Right. Right. I thought you meant like you got that plies smacking up all the hoes. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
them random
do you
songs.
know a Plies
It's like,
song?
what? I don't.
I don't think I ever heard one of his songs.
I mean, with that Busted Baby joint is the only. But like those kind of random requests, but something like that, like a good joint, I'll go back and hear it. That's funny though.
I want to apologize to the internet because the vibe is off.
We kicking it though, man.
We kicking it, but it's like
Just apologize to the internet.
the
To the planet that's out here.
like
the
going through something piece is real, bro.
Yeah.
And
And we all do it, dog.
Yeah,
We all do it.
We all do it, and it's not a
And you know, it's wild when you go through something like that's not really yours, right? You're not actually physically going through it yourself, the experience, but you feel it, like it's that empathy piece.
Yeah.
And you sit in it like, damn, that's crazy. It's wild, man.
It is, bro.
Fuck it, man. We here, internets. Going through it, man. We all do. You just got to keep moving through it, man. The light is at the end. This too shall pass. That's in the Bible. It's gems in the Bible, dog. You sleep on. It's gems that you sleep on, dog.
Ain't no gems in the Bible.
Yeah, it is. The
I've been
Bible
through it.
is, this too shall pass. You know how heavy that is, dog?
What?
That you can apply that to anything you're going through and understand that this too, like the other shit.
They got that from
Shall
they
pass.
got that from Hippocrates, bro.
Who the hell is Hippocrates?
Exactly.
I don't know who they got it from, but it's in there.
Yeah.
It's in there.
I was thinking about our guest thing and like how we do guests. And one of the things, because remember before when we were talking about guests and we were saying maybe we should just bring somebody in and just kind of like have them fold in to the vibe.
Yeah.
And not really do it like a question and answer kind of type thing.
Right.
I remember thinking about the Terrell interview and was like, we could have set that up in a way to where we could have really got some shit from him that like nobody knew.
I think we did.
No, we did, but I'm saying like more.
What do you mean? Like if we did it more in the interview style?
Yeah.
But I think that what we did, dog.
Because he didn't contribute. He didn't talk much.
Yeah, but what he did say was revealing though. And I think we did a little bit of both. That we did sort of talk about, interviewed him about some shit, but then we also just in our conversation, dog, became,
Because I thought we could have asked him.
It's easier to say, like, if somebody says, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Then you got more of you're gonna say the right thing, right, or what you feel is the right thing. But if we just talking about a subject and talk about your experience with the subject and your relationship to it, then the conversation is more candid to me.
So I agree, but so let's say we got I think you're right, and I think maybe what I was saying about what like Terrell's like maybe like what was the first song he ever made?
Oh yeah, okay.
Like having not necessarily doing it.
I see what you're saying.
Like questions back to back and firing them,
right.
but having like some structure around what we want to kind of talk about,
right?
And then like just go there and make sure we capture these pieces of it. So a broader context could be, tell us about the early years.
Right. Yeah.
How'd you get started? I mean,
Right.
like, I know that he started doing like beat battles and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
when you, like, you know what I'm saying? So
Beat battles. That's crazy.
it's crazy, bro. He got some online. And just stuff like that. So I was thinking in terms of like when we start having other guests to be like, to kind of like have some structure to like how we want to weave them in and have those kind of topics, not necessarily to make it not necessarily make it just all about them, but to make sure like there's some structure around being able to get these things. So like, let's say we get like, I don't know, like shit, Ebony.
Okay.
As an example.
Yeah. Shout out to Ebony.
No, I ain't shouting her out.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. What's up, girl? I saw her the other day.
You saw her today?
The other day.
Okay. Where?
We were
out working?
Corey's. Nah, we're at Corey and Nate's crib.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about that because I'm always thinking about this shit, man, and trying to figure out how to improve it in certain aspects. In the guest piece, I find that our episodes with guests, we actually get more people watching.
I wonder why.
Because I think it's just a different type of vibe and energy. And I think also too, like getting people and adding other people's names just increases your search.
Yeah.
Because like we're on that motherfucker. I mean, imagine if Oprah only, it's like Oprah. She get more views when motherfucking Biden, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if she just talking about her motherfucking quilts and bedding, but when she gets somebody on there, it increases the visibility.
Yeah. Well, let's do it, man. We
just something to think about.
Next week we're gonna have a guest.
Who we gonna have?
Who? We might pull anybody, man.
We're gonna have Mia.
She don't say much.
She don't say shit.
She the worst guest ever, man.
She there though. Look at her. Look at her, knocked out.
Sleep through the whole what kind of guest is that? It's a whack ass guest.
We're gonna get it together, bro.
We're gonna get it together, man. We here.
We here.
Shit, episode 30, baby.
30 for 30.
Random tunnels.
Tunnels going through.
Other galaxies.
I thought you was about to say other gout. I was saying, you got gout?
The gout. Going through tunnels.
Galaxies. Okay, there's a whole alien civilization.
Yep. Basing that civilization off Tuna Fort. That's dope. I believe that, dog, and can't nobody tell me it ain't true.
I know it's true.
You know what I'm saying? Who can tell you that ain't true? Every week they wait, and they probably just on episode like 5 now because they get it. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be hard. Wait till they get that episode 30. They're gonna be like, this is heat. Imagine if they episode 28 prompted them to build like their time machine. Episode 29.
Yeah.
Come out while they in the route, nigga, and they touch down and they see episode 30. We came all this way for this bullshit.
This shit was a huge waste of time. We gonna blow the whole planet up, wasting our time.
Talk about, motherfucker, where is the Breakfast Club?
It's Drink Champs. This shit is trash. This shit right here is trash. Somebody put Drink Champs on. That's crazy.
I appreciate you, bro.
Hey, man, appreciate you too, dog.
All right, we catch up.
Yep. All right, peace.
Peace.